One of the things that you do when you develop your own hand loads are to determine what variables you have and which ones you want to control. And one typical things is varying your powder, find out what load you want to use, what charge, and you pick a particular bullet that you want to shoot. And you can always go to your notes if you've done it before, or your reloading manual if you have one published for your particular component. But it's always a good idea, if you can do it, to match your particular cartridge to your particular gun, which is what I like to do. Now, not to go any further from this point, I have to give you a disclaimer. This is don't try this at home. This is not an educational video. This is not an instructional video. There is no warranty, either written or implied. This video has no value whatsoever except for entertainment. Now, with that said, I'll show you something that I do and have done in the past. I have had a number of break opens, and they work real well for this particular thing. So when to set my cartridge overall length, I don't have a fancy gauge for it. So if we look underneath their little kitty cats, we'll see some past little tools I've made. And here we have, what is this? This is like a 7mm 08. So what I do is I shoot a bullet, take the spent cartridge, because the neck has been expanded, and then I have a nice loose fitting bullet, and the case fits the particular gun I'm going to work on. Then what I do is I decap the spent primer, and I drill out using this little guy. I don't know if I've introduced you to this guy yet, but this is what we call a stuck case remover. This is made by Hornady. If you don't have one of those on your bench, buy one before you need one. But what this is a modified base that you can screw into the bottom of a stuck case that has been drilled out and tapped 1/4-20. You screw it into the base of the bad case and the die that's stuck, and then you can then use the ram. You see, you'd have it up here, and you pop that dude down, and you use the ram to pull it out of your die. But the 1/4-20 die or tap rather, and drill bit come in here, and so I just use that. 1/4-20 fits the casings pretty well. Now all I've done in the case of this Mauser action, this 458, is I've taken a shot case, I've taken my little bullet, this is a little Barnes, and you see, lo and behold, it fits down in that case pretty darn well. Now what I've done is, you see, I've drilled out and tapped the primer hole, and then I'm going to show, got a little piece of plastic. This is a little piece of polytubing left over from the old reverse osmosis install. See, I don't like to throw anything away. Hard times may get us. We might be in the middle of hard times now. And here's just a little piece of general purpose all thread and a rod coupling, and I'm going to assemble this for you and show you what you can do with this little dude. Now there it is, assembled. I have a little bit of excess down here where I can hold on. I have the plastic tubing, and this is used as both a spacer and something to keep from scratching up my action. I have the drilled and tapped case that's been shot and expanded, so my bullet fits nice, slides freely in there. Here's a dummy case I made. It's just a plain old non-shot case made to my overall length, where I can rack this in and out of my gun, make sure it looks like it's going to fit good. And I'll show you a little quick demo here in a minute. Again, for entertainment value. No warranty, written or implied. Don't do this at home. What else do I need to tell you? Yeah, just don't do it. Just for fun. I'm going to try to demonstrate this for you, and the setup is this. I've got the bolt removed from the rifle. I have a push rod. This happens to be the ramrod from the 45 muzzleloader. This is a 45 caliber, basically big game rifle, a very big game, African game rifle. I have the spent casing with a bullet. This has been shot and expanded, so it's been shot in this gun. This fits this rifle. I decapped without resizing the neck or the case. Decapped it, drilled and tapped it, quarter 20 with a case, stuck case remover tool. I have placed a quarter 20 all thread rod in it, and I have taken a piece of blue poly tubing around the all thread so they don't scratch my action. And on the end I have a nut here. This is called a rod coupling, so that I can tighten it down and hopefully keep my position. So I'm going to feed this through gently, trying not to scratch my new rifle. Go in until I feel it chamber. And I'm going to turn my rod. That feels like it stopped. I'm going to ease the plastic down. And I'm going to turn my little nut. Help hold that plastic's position between it and the brass casing. And then I'm going to pull the brass out. And now I'm going to take the rod, whether this be a cleaning rod or a ramrod, and I'm going to tap the bullet back. And see, it just barely touched, so it falls right back in. Now I should be able to put the two together. And that gives me a good idea of what my maximum case overall length can be in this rifle with this bullet. And I'll do this a couple of times. I have a set of calipers. I will measure from here to here, and then I'll write it down, take my notes, and then when I do it, I'll back off my numbers just a little bit to make sure that I have some tolerance and some play, because when I load these bullets, these don't actually seat exactly the same spot all the time. And there you have a functional, homemade, overall length gauge. And I guarantee you this one won't break off in your gun.